Welcome. I'm glad to see you all back again today. We had a good time when we went to the store yesterday. Many of you were surprised that we only stayed in the outer aisle, and we were in the produce and fruit section, and then we came through the checkout and left the store without going anywhere else. So I see we have one new person tonight. I'm Mary Enright Olson, and I'm here to do a food demonstration for you tonight. And what I have prepared for you is root for vegetables, and we'll eat it with pita bread or tortillas. So it's a very simple way to get your vegetables, and we have a couple of side dishes that are really just accessories to the main program we're going to eat. So we talked about the vegetables last night, and what we mentioned was that we could take any amount of potatoes, celery, carrots, mushrooms, broccoli, rutabaga, beets, things like that, and put them together to make this dish, bake it, and then we can spoon those items into the tortilla or into pita bread. So what I've done is prepared this dish to show you, and I've just cut the items up. If you dice them, they cook faster. If you chunk them, if you make them into irregular pieces, shapes, it seems to work a little bit better, and that sometimes then you cook it only for an hour at 350 degrees. And then there's a diversity in the texture of some of the vegetables will soften up more than others. So what I've done is, we mentioned several of the spices. I just pour the spices on like this. I'm a big fan of not measuring. So we had turmeric, we have some thyme, we have basil. I know some of you have herb gardens and are looking forward to using fresh herbs in this. That would be great. Cinnamon is one of my favorites. It seems to bring out a flavor in the vegetables that people hadn't considered, perhaps. A little bit of paprika, rosemary, and oregano. I pour about a half a cup of water over the vegetables here in the pan. Place the foil over the top. And bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for 60 minutes. I usually turn the oven off at 60 minutes and let it sit in there for a few minutes, and then take it out, put it on the stove, and let it sit there and cool down just slightly, maybe 10 minutes. And then what we end up with is a dish like this with our roasted vegetables. So I have a plate here with the items that went into tonight's batch. And I think I forgot to mention this earlier. I used a piece of ginger, about an inch or an inch and a half, and then I shaved it or shredded it over, and it just really adds a nice flavor. These are the breads that you can use. We picked them out last night at the store. This is a multi-grain pita bread. This is lavash. So we could put the potatoes in, we could put the vegetables in there, or a spinach tortilla. And what we aim for is minimal or no oil. And so I'll just give you an example of what we would do. We just spoon it up into here, roll it, and that becomes our vegetable dish. I've also prepared a side dish of salad using radicchio and romaine lettuce and some celery and cucumbers. And then I also steamed up some spinach and some kale. So we've covered all the bases there. And if the people in the first row would like to come up and dish up their first one, we'll go from there. And thank you very much for participating tonight.